Hey, everybody. This week on Up Your Alley, we've got two great recommendations. First, Jake recommended for me the Spotify playlist Pizza Party Tonight from CrustPunk Incorporated, and I recommend for Jake the new HBO documentary Chimp Crazy. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's going on at Sony. And thank you, everybody that subscribed to the YouTube channel. We just crossed over 10,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, do so right now. It's going to be awesome. Jake, you have anything to say to what could be up to 10,000 people, and it's more likely 25 people and a whole bunch of bots?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good times. Let's get to the show. So what happened there was we're recording at Jake's house again. And normally, welcome everybody to the show. My name is Taylor, and with me as always my best friend Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
Hey, buddy.
So normally when we do the show, I'll test everything and I'll push all the buttons to make sure all the volumes. Right. It's the one time I haven't done it. And it's known, like I push a button, I have a button for the opening song, and I have a button for the closing song, and then I have a button that's this line from Jersey Girl. I ain't right back, you little shit. And those are all the buttons that I have. But I forgot to do it this time, and that came in
That's
loud.
So funny, because every other time you push those buttons, everything sounds fine.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
It's never been like, oh, we got to adjust this.
It's the one time you forget to do it, man.
Yep.
It came in aggressive, because I took the recorder with me in my backpack to come over here.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, well, hopefully that didn't blow everyone's ear out, and I'll be able to fix it before I put this podcast out tomorrow. We're recording the day before we're doing it. It's another podcast from Jake's house. The wonderful suburbs here. I will say this, coming out to the suburbs, I realize how dirty my car is.
Yeah?
Different kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Like just pulling up.
What you mean.
I had to use my rear windshield wiper to get like all the dust and everything.
Pollen and stuff off it?
Well, it's mostly just living on a gravel road.
Yeah,
it kicks up dust all the time. So like my back windshield, and I'm like, oh, everyone else's car up here is not covered in
a little dirt.
In dirt. Like my country bumpkin car. Coming up to the big city to record my internet radio
Half
show.
hour away.
It's 40 minutes. It's not bad. Yeah, so how you been, man? How are things?
Everything's been A-okay.
Yeah?
I've been on my video game kick, brother.
You have?
Yeah.
What you been playing?
I've been playing Astrobot.
Yeah,
which
we'll talk
you
about
have as well.
I'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to hear what you're playing.
I've been playing Corpus Edax.
No idea.
Which is a game made by one guy. It's a first-person immersive sim, but it's first-person beat-em-up brawler is what I've been basically playing it as.
I'm not a big fan of first-person melee.
Yeah? I'm a huge fan. And this game plays like Condemned from the Xbox 360.
Okay.
Where you can like rip pipes off the wall and then beat the crap out of somebody. You can drop kick somebody so hard they just fly across the room. My guy is so strong. It's very fun. I'm having a great time with it. I also got I Am Your Beast, which is a very quick first-person shooter. Yeah, like you can end a level in less than a minute, but it's about getting it perfect. You know, just keep doing the run over and over again. I think you'd actually enjoy that one.
Are you playing all these on your Steam Deck?
Yeah, no, I'm playing them on my computer.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's Steam Deck certified, but it's not Corpus Edax. But I think I Am Your Beast is. And then
you know who was giving big shout outs to the Steam Deck is I was listening to comedian Dan Soder's podcast, Soder.
Yeah,
and he had on this week Laszlo, the guy that did all the audio work for all the Rockstar games. And people that played Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas.
You know Laszlo.
He had a talk radio station in Grand Theft Auto 3. Chatterbox, which I remember I found a recording of on Napster. That's how old this was. And it was just Chatterbox FM. And it was like one of the first things I burned to a CD back in like 2002, 2003, whenever CD burning technology came out.
Yeah.
So I had Chatterbox FM, it was a 1 hour loop that would play in Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah.
And I would just listen to it because it was hilarious.
Yeah. It is hilarious. I remember Laszlo saying it's like pizza and ice cream. Like both of them are great, but together, I was like, I remember that distinctly. And I also remember Chatterbox is where the Australian-American War is like, school system had failed us. They're not even teaching the kids about the Australian-American War anymore. So
he talked on Soder's podcast about writing all that stuff, and then in Vice City, which was set in the 80s, he was a radio shock jock with a fake band called Love Fist, and then he's popped up in Grand Theft Auto 5. Regardless, fascinating conversation about him, or with him and Dan Soder talking about his life in video games.
That's cool.
And
I'd like to listen to that.
Yeah, it's a great episode. And
Integrity 2.0 on Grand Theft Auto 4 was very funny.
Yeah.
I like that one. That was him taking the radio on the streets.
But he talked about recording for everything and how, he's a big gamer, obviously. And he would record like all the different NPC stuff. Like for Red Dead Redemption 2, he wrote a bunch of the NPC dialogue. Obviously, there's no radio stations, but he told the story about how Soder was asking him about all the little secrets and everything in Red Dead Redemption. He's like, yeah, did you find the suicide note? And he's like, no. And he's like, yeah, there's just boots by a cliff somewhere, and I had to write a suicide note. And it got me into a really dark place where I really wanted this suicide note to be good. And I was like, oh, he put his heart and soul into it. But one of the things he talked about is how the Steam Deck revolutionized gaming. And like people would come up to him now that are playing older games like Bully and the Warriors and stuff that's available on Steam Deck.
Warriors, great.
I don't like how the Steam Deck feels. It's not...
Really? I love the thing.
The controller's not comfortable enough. And this is something I realized too. I've been playing a little bit of Starfield on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Since people say it's good now, it's just still okay. I think the PlayStation controller is my favorite controller.
Yeah.
I don't like the Steam Deck. I don't really like...
I was an early adopter to the Steam controller. I didn't think that thing was that terrible.
I've never touched one of those.
It's wild. Instead of a right analog stick, it has a trackpad. That's kind of like concave. Yes,
yeah,
it's
Steam
very
Deck
different
has that too.
Yeah, the trackpad's definitely inspired by the Steam controller.
And again, I'm not a big fan of playing my Switch handheld either. My favorite controllers are right now of the current gen is the PlayStation controller is the best, followed by the Switch Pro controller, and then it's Xbox. And they all have kind of the same shape, but the Switch Pro controller is great.
I wonder if we can get something for like the TV to play Steam. Well, we can get a dock for your Steam Deck.
Well, eventually the answer would be just get a computer or hook. Like I've hooked my
That's true.
I've hooked my PS4 controller up to my MacBook.
Yeah,
and played games on it like that. I think I downloaded like a Steam for like Grand Theft Auto 3 or something. I was trying to record video for a video I was working on, or like capture video game stuff. But regardless, I love it. But speaking of how amazing the PlayStation 5 controller is, Astrobot came out this week. Which I mentioned last week when we talked about your recommendation, Thank Goodness You're Here, that up until I played Thank Goodness You're Here, Helldivers 2 was my game of the year. Yeah. And then Thank Goodness You're Here became my game of the year. We recorded that last Thursday. Last Friday, I started playing Astrobot. So Thank Goodness You're Here had about a
week.
Solid, 4-day run where it was my game of the year. But I got to tell you, Astrobot on the PlayStation 5 is my favorite game of the year. And I might like it better than games I played last year. As much as last year, I think I gave my game of the year to Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. And by I think I know I did that. Yeah. But I could be wrong. Astrobot's, just amazing. So you've played it a little. Yeah. Probably got a couple hours.
I'm at the second world, and I'm about halfway through it. Yeah. I get lost just trying to look for
little bots.
You know.
So Astrobot started as basically a tech demo on the PlayStation 5. Yeah,
I played that, and that one's great. Astro's Playroom. And then there's Astro's Rescue Mission on VR, and I played that, and that's great.
So I haven't played that.
And then
it's a little robot man. It's new IP for Sony, and he's got a little ship that looks like a PlayStation controller, and it's boilerplate collectathon story where it's very minimal story. There's a big alien. He crashes your spaceship that looks like a PS5, and all the bots get scattered on all the different worlds. You have to go find the bots, collect puzzle pieces, which immediately I was just like, are they just doing jiggies from Banjo-Kazooie? Because I'm not against it. And you find all the stuff, different worlds, different levels. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
It hit the nostalgia.
Absolutely, this game was going to be up your alley. Easy peasy.
Well, I've mentioned before, Banjo-Kazooie is my favorite game. This is the closest thing to a new Banjo-Kazooie.
The secret levels are so fun in this game.
So you've only been... there are 5 galaxies, or star clusters, nebulas, I forget what they call them. It doesn't matter. But all the worlds are themed, and it's so classically themed. Like, there's the fire level, there's the snow level, there's a swamp level, there's a casino level. Like, there's everything that you need. But it doesn't feel derivative. Like, even the fact that you're collecting jigsaw pieces... Yeah. I was just like, that's just what you do in a game like this. And all the bots, not all of them, but some of the bots are themed as PlayStation characters.
Yeah.
I caught some of them. There are some of the characters that I have no idea what game they're from.
Yeah.
I did find one that was what's the Yakuza games? That
Yeah, right.
Like a Dragon.
Kiryu.
Yeah, so I found him, and I, toot my own horn here. 15 hours, I got the platinum trophy. I did everything in this game, and I will do it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fun. Speedrun.com is not accepting times now.
But they're going to have speedrun DLC for the game.
Yeah.
So
it's a blast.
That's where you're going to be.
It's a game that I definitely started following on Twitch. I feel like since they're not accepting runs right now, a lot of the big streamers did a playthrough of the game, a little Let's Play thing, and then I think people are going to start speedrunning this game, and it's going to be very... Well, I know people are going to start speedrunning this game. People speedrun Jaws on the NES, but there are people that are going to get very good at this game, and I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah.
There's one level, I guess, not really a spoiler. Well, kind of a spoiler, but there's nothing to spoil. There's no like story secrets. So at the end of every world, you get a theme, and then you do a level that's that theme. Like the first zone is Ape Escape.
Yeah.
So you free Mr. Ape Escape. Who I remember
the
playing
kid.
that. I remember playing that game on PlayStation 1 and being like, "Oh, this is fun."
Yeah.
It came on the first world in Ape Escape came on a demo CD that also had the first level of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and it had the Shadow Moses part of Metal Gear Solid until you get into the base.
Yeah.
So just the helipad.
Yeah.
So I replayed those all the time. And then the next level is just a level of Ape Escape. You have a net and you're catching
Yep, you switch
apes.
into that guy.
Yeah. Something that we'll talk about when we get to my recommendation. A couple of apes are escaping in Chimp Crazy too, the documentary.
I know.
And then the second world, you rescue Kratos and Atreus, and then it's like a God of War level where you have an axe and you can throw it and then call it back just like you can in the newer God of War.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
There's another one that's a game that I had to look up. Apparently, it's a PSP game called Rolo Loco.
Yeah, dude.
Where
Rolo
it's like-
Loco's amazing.
So it's all motion control.
Cool.
Which is what I wanted to get to about the PlayStation controller, because it really showcases how good of a controller that is.
Yeah.
The haptic feedback in this game is perfect. The lights go off. The sound that they're playing through the speaker, it just shows what a good controller that is when they have a game that's made for that.
Yeah.
It's like a movie that's shot on IMAX.
Yeah.
Looks better on IMAX than any movie there that just play it on a big screen.
That's the thing that I think they did really well.
Yeah.
Is that it feels like a game made for the PlayStation 5.
So you haven't gotten to this point, but I mean, everyone knows there are the 5 levels. There's Rolo Loco. There's
I don't know what they are.
well, I'm going to tell you. It's not.
You're going to spoil it for me, huh?
I have to tell you about one. There's one. Okay, there's one that's not in there that I was really upset by, because I got to the 5th one. I'm like, oh god, are they going to do it for the 5th one? And then in that world, I rescued the character. I rescued Jin from Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was really hoping I was going to get to put on like a little cute robot samurai outfit and
Can
use
you
like
not?
a robot. No,
Oh.
you don't get a Robo Samurai level, which I was like, I thought they were doing like the AAA PlayStation games. I thought there was going to be a Spider-Man. Apparently, you can't get the rights to that.
Yeah,
even
that's
though,
not a PlayStation. That's
But-
a Marvel.
I understand, but
Marvel
Sony,
first PlayStation.
Sony has the rights to
I
the
get it.
games. Yeah,
But
I was hoping
Yeah.
for a little Spider-Man something, and there might be a Spider-Man Easter egg in there somewhere. I didn't see it though. But the Rolo Loco, like I said, I didn't get. But at the end of the 3rd world, you save Nathan Drake,
yeah,
and they have a Nathan Drake level, and it starts playing the Uncharted theme,
Uncharted. Yeah.
but it's like a Astrobot remix. And the whole time
Yeah, the
playing,
music's really good in this game.
yeah, the whole time I was playing that Nathan Drake level, I had this biggest, dumbest, smiling nostalgia on my face, just hearing the Uncharted music and remembering how good those games were. Because like the Uncharted games, when they came out, I remember we lived together when the first one came out, and I watched you play it, and I'd never seen a game like that.
Yeah, right.
And I loved all of them. I downloaded Uncharted 4. Like
Right.
it's currently downloading at my house because I want to go back and play that.
I haven't beaten 4, but I have beat 1, 2, and 3, and I loved all of those.
Yeah, and 4 and the Lost Legacy, the little side quest.
I played that a little bit.
Yeah.
I need to get back to it.
But Sony hit the nail on the head for the nostalgia, because it literally, I played that and then I wanted to go and download. If Uncharted wasn't on PlayStation Plus and I could get it for free, I probably would have had to go and buy it at the store, because I was like, I really want to play Uncharted now. And they nailed it. It's just this love letter to Sony.
what do you think about the PS5 Pro?
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
So Sony, we talked about it last week. They unreleased a game because everyone was like, "This is so bad," and then they put out Astrobot, which is like, "See, we can make good games."
Yeah.
And then just 2 days ago that we're recording this, they had their big announcement where they're releasing their PS5 Pro, which apparently is just standard operating procedure for consoles now, where they have a, what do they call it, like a mid-update, mid-gen update.
Yeah.
So I never got a PS4 Pro.
Me neither.
My buddy got a PlayStation 5 Slim that they released.
Yeah, I remember that thing.
And the way he did it is GameStop had an update where basically you trade in your PS5 and they give you a PS5 Slim. And I think it was like $50, something like that was the total upgrade. So they released the PS5 Pro demo trailer. It comes out in November. And the dude, I don't know who the dude was that was in the video, but he was trying to sell it, and he was like, "This is what it looks like in fidelity mode, and this is what it looks like in what is the other thing that's not
compatibility mode or something?"
Yeah, whatever. Where it's, you know, if this is for graphics and this is for
performance mode.
Performance mode. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, "Here's it in performance mode. Here's it in the best graphics you're ever going to see in your whole life. This is going to knock your dick in the dirt. Look how you're not going to believe how good Ratchet and Clank look.
We're doing ray tracing, boys."
But it looked the same.
Yeah.
It looked so much the same, and it could have been. Granted, I have an older TV. And this is something I talked to my buddy about. I was like, I guess I just need to upgrade a TV. He's like, you definitely need to upgrade your TV.
Sure.
But I'm playing.
But like you said,
it looks
the
fine
difference
to me.
Is negligible.
Especially,
if it's something that you care about, then go ahead. But for, like, I need the disc drive because I still buy the discs.
Yep.
And that thing is, you know, $80 extra.
I specifically bought my PS5 with a disc drive because I like having the disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that's just a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The price tag. It's $700.
Yeah.
And they put up like 700, you know, it has the dollar sign, then it has the pound sign, the euro sign, and the yen. I think is the last one they put up.
Yeah, I think so.
Same price for pound and dollar. I always thought things in the pound were like $100 less.
It's going to cost so much in England.
Well, I remember, I have a vivid memory of things being like, oh, it's $3.99 American dollars, and then it's like, you know, $3.49 in British pounds. I'm like, you're paying the same price for us, so I guess the dollar's good.
No,
or the pound is bad.
I immediately looked at the exchange rate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How are we doing? Are we crushing it?
Oh my god, dude! The buying power of the dollar over there is crazy.
We're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good.
So you mean we're not just eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio?
We're doing
that's going on?
I mean, that's how we're saving. We're scraping by.
Oh, that's how we're saving by. So if we eat the cats and dogs, a real thing that's actually
Don't go
happening.
out and get beef.
No, absolutely. Why would you? They're free cats and dogs from Ohio. You can just eat them. It's a thing that happens.
Then I don't want to say anymore because it's going to be called politics.
We're not. No, I'm just talking about people that eat cats and dogs. A real thing that happens.
Something that's real that happens that we have to interrupt.
They're saying it on TV, Jake.
It's my favorite.
They're saying it on TV.
So you watched it, huh?
Yeah,
it was good.
They're saying it on TV.
The guy could not make any eye contact.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Insane.
I'm just talking about something I saw on TV.
I saw something on TV where a guy could not make eye contact.
Oh, it's like some weird, crazy old man just having like a spasm because some woman talked bad to him.
Yeah, dude.
Weird.
That was
I don't know if we were watching the same thing. I've got nothing to say about it. Regardless, yeah, Sony's crazy for charging $700 because
I mean,
my same buddy that did the upgrade, he said that the upgrade, if I trade in my PlayStation, it's going to cost me like $320. And I'm like, no, $320 for something I can't see the difference to lose my disc drive when the Switch 2 is coming out next year, which will probably cost $400. I'm just going to save my money and buy a Switch 2.
Yep. I'm in the same boat with the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I would have gotten a PlayStation 5 Pro if they went crazy backward compatible.
Like if I get my demo disc from Pizza Hut that had Metal Gear Solid and Ape Escape on it, and it'll fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been me going, that's great. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Chuck an Xbox One game in there. See what happens. Who knows? It might work. I can't guarantee it.
Yeah, it's $700.
If we're sending it
we
with...
didn't do jack shit to it other than you can play your PlayStation games, all of them on there.
Right.
$799. I'd be like, I'm there, buddy.
But also, if they did something like, kind of like what Switch does with the Switch Online, if they're like, not only does it have a disc drive, but that disc drive's loaded with 200 PlayStation 2 games and 100 PlayStation 1 games and all these other things, it'd be like, okay, maybe it's actually worth the money.
Yeah.
But
show me. Yeah, that's one thing that I was reading where they're trying to change the marketing of consoles to be more like an iPhone.
Right.
Where you eat the cost of it up front and then you make it up in like the sales of the games and apps and stuff.
Right. Then they're like, oh, in 2 years, you've done this, that you can upgrade to the next one because it's got another camera on it.
Yeah.
Or the cameras are vertical now.
And now, but the price is still like terrifying. That's the problem.
And for something that I honestly can't tell the difference.
There's that good picture of the triangles in the statue. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're like, this is 100 triangles. Try and make a statue. This is 1,000. And then there's 10,000 and 100,000. And it's like from 10,000 to 100,000. You can barely tell the difference.
Right. And the
diminishing returns, as they say.
It is diminishing returns. But the dude that was selling it in the video, like, people should go watch this on YouTube. He was trying so hard. He's like, this is my favorite part from Ratchet and Clank. The parade scene. It's like, and you could see in the PS4 Pro or PS5 Pro how much better the background looks. And he's like, so characters that I'm not supposed to be looking at look less
that
blurry.
I'm not paying attention to.
Just randoms in the background look better. I'm like, fuck, who are you? You're not showing me the Zapruder film with like a better clarity. Like, it looks the same to me.
When we're playing Astrobot.
Yeah.
And you just drop all those acorns out of the tree and you're just knocking them all over the place. That's what I want. I want more of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the physics in Astrobot
are
great.
Fun. That's the fun stuff.
The second level, it's like sprinkles on an ice cream mountain.
Yes.
And you can spin around and the sprinkles just fly everywhere.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Sounds great. They go all over the place. I'm having the time of my life.
Have you gotten to the Big Little level yet?
Yes, I love it.
So there's a level, and it's something like I was saying about taking things from other 3D platformers.
Awesome in this game.
So good. Like I was saying with the other 3D platformers, there's a level in Super Mario 64. I think it's Big Little Island is what it's called, or Little Big World, whatever it is. But you go through one picture frame in Mario 64, and everything's gigantic. And then you can go down a pipe, and then everything's huge.
Yeah.
And that was shocking to me. And granted, it was just literally two different worlds.
Yeah.
That you can't toggle in between the two as you want. This you can shrink and grow
wherever
at
you want.
will. And the things that are far away from you, it looks like it's getting blurrier, like it should have when you're getting big and then little. And the physics of everything change.
Depth of field.
You can get underneath a blanket and then get big, and the blanket flies off.
Yep.
It's so great.
That was a great level.
There's no excuse for not having good 3D platformers right now.
Yeah.
If this doesn't make someone at Microsoft go, guys, we need to make Banjo-Kazooie. Because Mario's got one. Unless, I don't know if they're just making a lot of money off of Starfield and Halo or whatever the hell Microsoft is doing.
If they're making money. Yeah.
But now that Sony has Astrobot, and obviously Nintendo's always going to have Mario.
Shit in the bed right now.
Maybe
all of them, other than maybe Nintendo.
Nintendo's just always done its own thing.
Yeah, right.
Like, even when
They're
PlayStation
fine.
and Xbox were out, and they're like, we're still doing cartridges. And then they're like, well, you got to do disc if you want this. All right, we'll do disc, but they're going to be really tiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Now you got to put it on 2 discs.
Have fun changing discs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better put in your disc
like,
too, buddy.
All right, well, everyone's just doing Blu-ray because it's a better product now. And most games are online. It's like, we're going to give little tiny SD cards that are going to be easy to lose.
SD cards. Make them taste terrible. Make sure they taste terrible.
We're going to sell Taylor a Nintendo Switch and then sell a Nintendo Switch Lite to his daughter. And then she's going to lose Super Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, so you're going to have to buy them again. And then 2 weeks later, she's going to find Mario Kart, so now you have extra copies of Mario Kart. That's a true story that happened.
Wonderful.
But I'll still give Nintendo all my money.
Yeah, I mean, Switch 2, all I have to do, again, just say, yeah, we're backward compatible.
Do that, but better.
Yeah.
Just do that thing, but just do it better.
Backward compatible.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And it's an SD card, so I'm sure I could slide in Breath of the Wild into whatever the Switch 2 is doing.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Why can't PlayStation do that?
I just don't know. You know?
Like, with that PlayStation Pro, if they're like, hey, and by the way, you can just buy games on SD cards now. Because I guess they don't understand that people... Here's an idea. If Sony put that out, but they said every game that's a physical copy is going to be like a nice collector's edition thing.
Yeah.
Like, not obviously like a steel case sort of thing like they do with really nice Blu-rays, like the collector's edition. But if they said you're going to pay $60 for that game, but you can pay $50 and just get it digital.
Yeah.
I think there are enough people that would pay, I'll pay the $60 and have the nice physical copy.
I like the way Alan Wake 2 did it.
I have no idea, so you got to speak to that.
So Alan Wake 2 didn't release with a physical copy. They just went digital.
It's ethereal.
And then you buy it. It's an ethereal thing.
This is real Alan Wake.
But later, they were like, all right, now's the time. You can get your physical copy if you want it.
Yeah, they do that with records a lot now. Like, there are a lot of... the kid has me listening to the Sabrina Carpenter.
Yes.
Have you seen her new music video?
No. I've seen her dance on a surfboard.
She's
with Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
And they're killing each other.
Yeah. You would love that video.
Mm-hmm.
You probably wouldn't like the song that much, but the video is great. It's a homage to a bunch of old horror movies.
Yeah. I was enjoying what I saw of clips.
Yeah. So, where was I going? So she released, like, her album comes out. Obviously, it's just on Spotify, but then you can pre-order, like, a vinyl. Like, no one's making CDs anymore.
Yeah.
So
they will, though. Don't worry.
Oh,
Nostalgia will catch up.
I mean, they still make them. They put them out in, like, Walmart sells CDs because there are some people that, don't have streaming or they drive cars that don't have it. Whatever.
You saw the clip of the lady.
What?
This girl, she's talking to her mom. There's just CDs all over the table. And the kid's like, why aren't you just getting rid of your CDs? And she's like, they told me to get rid of my records, and I did that, and now they're back. They told me to get rid of the cassette tapes, and now I'm sure they're coming back.
They are.
He's like, I am not getting rid of my CDs.
That's fair.
He's like, you could just find whatever song you want to listen to on Spotify. He's like, I don't want to listen to a certain song. I want to find a CD and go, oh, I like Oingo Boingo. And then I put it on. And she was like,
nobody's ever said I like Oingo Boingo.
I love Oingo Boingo.
You fucking would. Yeah,
you would too.
My kid, we saw like Taylor Swift like vinyl. And she's like, yeah, I don't really, because I have some vinyl records framed. Like I have like some Tom Petty records and some comedy records, comedy records framed. And the kid was like, yeah, I don't really have room for that. She's like, can I get, do they sell those things that are like little like mini records? And I was like, you mean like 7 inches? And she's like, no, they're like shiny plastic, like the little records. And I was like, oh, she doesn't know what CDs are.
She's talking about the
CD.
She's talking about the little discs for the GameCube.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't they have a mini disc player at one point that played like GameCube sized CDs?
Oh shit! No, they had something that was even smaller that were like little blocks. Shit, what were those things called?
They were like coasters.
Yeah,
yeah.
They were so.
I think it was a mini disc, wasn't it?
I can't remember, dude.
Regardless.
Yeah,
shit, we've been going for 30 minutes. We got to get into our recommendations. All right, let's talk about your recommendation first because it's a weird recommendation.
Yeah, man.
All right, so yeah,
it's just something that I felt.
Yeah, first of all, explain yourself.
I have been listening to this for a while now, for like a couple weeks.
So it's a playlist, and you know the guy that made the playlist.
Yes.
It's called Pizza Party Tonight by CrustPunk Incorporated on Spotify.
Yes.
I had a listener reach out to me and be like, hey, can you send a link to that playlist? And I was like, yeah, man.
You said?
Yeah, send a link to him on Instagram.
Who?
A guy named Kendrick.
Oh, yeah?
This is a show. Yeah, guy I know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he's listening to the playlist.
Hey, that's sweet.
And
now we're talking.
So at least one person's not a bot.
At least one.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
The pizza party.
We so it's just something that I've been listening to, and it's just music that we like. It felt to me like this would be the equivalent of doing what Spotify does now, where they're like, hey, we'll suggest some songs that you like.
The Shuffle Plus.
Yes.
I like the Shuffle Plus.
I don't like it as much as I like the personal touch like this.
What the Shuffle Plus does for me that I like is sometimes, like, I have my playlist that I keep downloaded because a lot of places I drive I can't get service.
Yeah.
So I have that, and that's about 100 or so songs. And then I'll put that on when I have service, and sometimes it'll throw something and be like, oh, why isn't this on this playlist? And I'll just add that to the playlist real quick.
Yeah.
Fills in some gaps for me real quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I didn't put Big Me by Foo Fighters on this playlist, but Big Me by Foo Fighters should really be on this playlist.
You just had to talk about Dave Grohl right now, huh?
What's going on with Dave Grohl?
You don't know?
No, he keeps popping up, and I will not say things about Dave Grohl. What's going on with Dave Grohl?
He had a child out of wedlock.
Okay. He's a rock star.
Yeah, but he's married, and he has a kid with another woman.
Allegedly.
No, like he came out on social media being like, I had a child with another woman outside of my marriage.
How old's this kid?
I have no clue. Oh, it's a baby. It's just born.
Oh, it's a new one.
Yeah, it's new. It happened this tour, the one that he broke his leg on.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some hard fucking.
It's wild.
Wait.
Yeah.
So was the child conceived pre or post leg breaking?
Who knows? Might be pre or post or during.
All right, cause it's all right. I'm not condoning.
I don't care. It's
infidelity.
my thing.
Well, yeah, he's Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
He fessed up to it and he's taking care of the kid. You're doing what you do. What happens?
He's doing
how things play?
I'm not casting
shake out
aspersions
between
and nothing.
him and his missus. That's between him and his missus.
Yeah, it's nothing I care about. It's just very funny that he's like, let me get in front of this. I had a baby outside of my marriage. But it's like,
for all you
just
know,
buddy.
She could have been trying to shake him down.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Getting in front of it. But I don't know. I have no
I think
race.
I think that changed 0 people's opinion on Dave Grohl.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's like, you remember when Adam Levine had all those texts come out?
Dude, I thought about that immediately.
The thing about that ruined Adam Levine for some people is he was such a dork about it. Like his text, he's like, "Oh my god, you're so hot.
Yeah, your body is so hot."
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, you're a nerd."
It's awesome sauce. He did say that, but
yeah,
that's what it told me is that men, regardless of how good they look or how rich they are, they're all stupid little nerds when it comes to interacting with women.
Well, here's the deal. Adam Levine, and there are some Maroon 5 songs I like. He's done some songs with The Lonely Island that I quite enjoy as well.
I don't like his music.
That's fine. That's neither here nor there. The fact is, with his skinny boy look and his very melodious voice that's in the higher register, there's a time when he was good at singing and not cool yet. And he had to power through that. Because when you're that skinny kid...
I don't think he's cool.
No, okay, not cool. There was a time
popular
when people weren't lining up to bang him.
Yeah.
And then he got a whole bunch of ugly tattoos afterwards, which means he made that mistake afterwards. But I'm just saying, he powered through being a skinny dork that could sing to be like, this is going to pay off one day. And it did, in spades, which is why he still texts like a skinny dork. Dave Grohl was in the greatest band on the planet when he was like 21.
Yeah.
He knows how to be a cool rock star.
Yeah.
And he seems like a good guy if he's taking care of the kid. Jumping ahead of it, said, "Hey guys, I fucked up. It's fine."
I have no clue. Yeah.
I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah.
So that's all I know.
Yeah. I don't know the story.
I give this as much.
All I know is that he posted on social media that he had a kid.
I'm hearing this just from you. At least I've seen someone on TV say that they're eating cats and dogs somewhere. So that has more credence than Dave Grohl has ever done anything wrong.
I saw it on TV. Yeah.
Okay. Well, never mind. What are we talking about? Your fucking playlist. All right. So it's 27 hours long.
Yes.
So I didn't get through much of this. So one of the
only thing that I wanted to do was to be like, it's kind of cool that people listen to music that we enjoy. I think this guy that does it, he has our flavor, our tastes, but he also
somewhat.
It's also expanded a lot more.
Yep.
You know, it's just a broader experience listening to this. That you're going to listen to something that you didn't know you liked, or you just won't like it. You know what I mean?
So I had to kind of come at this the way, like, I'm sure you haven't listened to every song on this playlist.
No.
It's 27 hours long. I would say maybe I got 4 hours into it.
Yeah.
Just on shuffle. Obviously not listening to it all the way through, because it doesn't strike me as a playlist that's meant to be listened to.
No.
Like that.
It's definitely
if you make a 27
put in.
If you make a 27-hour playlist that needs to be listened to in that order, you need to be on a government watch list somewhere. That's not a playlist. That's a manifesto.
That's
at that
an
point.
achievement. Yeah.
But not a great one. Regardless, I'm a big fan of playlists.
Yeah.
I was a big mixtape guy back in the CD burning days.
And was the other thing that I was thinking about too was, I think Spotify would do a good job trying to, like, make mixtape style playlists.
And they do. Like, you've downloaded their...
Well, what I'm saying is, like, add comments to it. One of the nicest playlists I've ever gotten was from a girl that I liked.
Kind of gamify it like a social media thing.
Kind of, like, socialize it a little bit more.
That checks out.
This is what I'm enjoying about when I was listening to this. Is like, I feel closer to my buddy listening to this stuff, because there's songs on here that we've listened to together, that we've discovered together, that we were like, this stuff is really good. There's, Hillbilly Moon Explosion is on here. I listened to that. I haven't listened to them in a long time, but when I started listening to them again, I was like, oh, right, this song's great. Buy Beggar Steal, this song is awesome.
So I got, hold on.
It brought me back to the part of music that I enjoy, which is how it connects you to other people. Not just how enjoyable the stuff is, but also that it's something that you enjoy with others, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I just liked that. I felt that, and I was wondering if you would feel it too.
So yeah, this for me as a playlist gets a 2.
Okay.
And here's why. There are some songs on there that if it was a album, I would skip every time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't hold that too far against it, as it is a 27-hour playlist.
Yeah.
There are some things that I listened that were new to me, that I was not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Some songs by bands that I know that I hadn't heard that song. So for that, it gets a solid 2. It's worth it to toss this on to bum around.
It's a lot of punk. It's a lot of hardcore, but there's also like Harry Belafonte on there.
Some new songs that I'll do the first of all the bad. There's one song on here that I fucking hate that song, and every time I hear this song, I just want to skip it.
What was that?
And I guarantee it's not the only song like this on it, but it came on in my car, and I was just like, "Fuck no!" And that's "What's Up" by 4 Non Blondes. I fucking hate that song.
What's up?
That's and I went in the morning and I step outside.
Oh, what's going on?
Drunk and I get fuck that song forever. That
I
song.
love that song.
No, because we both worked in a bar where there was an open mic night, and there was one girl that would sing that song with a dude who I'll talk about later, who ran like all the local bar music. Like he ran the open mic night. Good old hippie dude. One song that's on here that he did, Big Steve. And it's Iko Iko by Dr. John. Same guy would do that song. Fucking love that song. I was like, oh, great. I added that to my car playlist, normal. I was like, why hasn't this been on it?
Yeah.
But 4 Non Blondes is a drunken sing-along song.
Yeah.
And as great as the band did it, there would be 3 ladies in the bar just going, hey, and I'm just like, oh my God, stop this forever. That song and fucking Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Medicine Show, fuck those songs forever.
I loved Wagon Wheel when I first heard it, and now
everyone did. Everyone did.
Yeah,
it was a banger when you first heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you are just...
Nope. As soon as it comes on, you're just like,
Petered
I want to leave real bad. So, yeah, getting back to songs that I found from bands that I knew but hadn't heard that. A band you like, it turned me on to, but I've never heard this song. The song Watermark by the Weaker Thans.
Hell yeah, dude.
Great song.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites.
I
didn't know you didn't listen to so much Weaker Thans.
I don't listen to so much Weaker Thans.
We will have to... Well, maybe we'll address that.
Fuck, what was I talking? Cult Boyfriend by Jeffrey Lewis, a 2-time wreck for you.
Yep.
Great song.
That game is... That game... That is a great song.
Yeah,
right there.
2-time wreck for you, Jeffrey Lewis. That added to the playlist too. Song Kick Push by Lupe Fiasco. I know who Lupe Fiasco is.
Right.
Can't say. I'm sure I've heard some of his songs, but I've never seen that list.
Yeah.
Kick Push. It's a nice hip hop song about a love story between skaters.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this song's real fucking good.
Yeah.
So this are some new bands that I heard that I liked. There was a song called "Slow Down Jerusalem" by the Dusk Whales.
Yeah.
Really like that. There's a
Dusk Whales are a local band.
Are they?
Yeah.
No idea. A song called "Angel Whiskey" by Punks. It just sounds like polka Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah.
Like if the Dropkick Murphys weren't aggressively Irish, if they were like...
That is such his flavor of music. It's crazy how he likes all this stuff, but then he also likes this Russian polka-esque music.
It's polka Dropkick Murphys.
Gogol Bordello.
Gogol Bordello. Start wearing purple. Yeah, man.
It's on there, and I was like, I haven't listened to this in years.
There are some songs that kind of turned me off, but I didn't really, like, it wasn't crazy. Like, some like I guess they're kind of funny, edgy songs. Like there's a song by a band called Renegade Rail called Fat Girls and Weed, where I'm like, all right, it kind of sounds like a Wheeler Walker Jr. song. Yeah. It's fine, but it's just like, that doesn't really fit on a playlist for me where I would just hit shuffle because that's not a song I would want.
I see what you mean on that
to
one.
just come up.
Yeah.
And granted, here's the thing. If you're listening to this and you're not a bot, or if you are a bot, because bots make pretty good playlists too, make a playlist on Spotify and call it Up Your Alley Fan Playlist. I will rate your playlist because I know and make it no more than 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that's how long a CD is.
Imagine. Yeah.
That's how long a CD is. It's 80 minutes.
I would say even do the...
Because
we didn't...
If CrustPunk's is listening to this, make me an 80... Find your magnum opus here and make me an 80-minute
the
playlist.
Limitations are that's where creativity comes from.
Did you have a go-to song that you would make on mixtapes for girls? Because I made there's probably a half dozen girls in the county where we live that I made mixtapes for, mix CDs for.
Yeah.
Did you have like a go-to that you're like, oh, I'm putting this song?
The song is, you can't even find it on the Spotify.
Really?
Yeah.
What song?
It's called Little Love.
Really?
Yeah, by Aaron with A.A.R.O.N.
Really?
Yeah.
No idea what that song is.
It's a very sweet song. It's very beautiful.
Mine was You to Thank by Ben Folds.
Oh, yeah?
Ladies love Ben Folds. That piano comes in. Ben Folds. Listen, around 2005, 2006, so many girls in college like Ben Folds.
Yeah, I was never limited by the amount of time. It was the amount of megabytes, No,
because if you're burning it like as an audio platform, normally like if you're doing it to listen.
That's true. Kind of like almost 1-to-1.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool imitation to me.
Yeah.
And just imagine you're gonna add little comments to it.
It's turning like this is prose. This is Beowulf. This is the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
But then you need to make a haiku.
Yeah.
And you are limited. So you take that and it's like you got syllables, bitch.
Yeah.
You need to get the syllables down. You can't just be writing your big old stories. I like your big old story. Your big old stories are too. Give me a haiku. Give me a limerick. Give me a type 5. Give me a 14 sonnet.
A theme. Yeah.
Yes, something.
A theme.
Touch me. Speak my soul.
Give me your mixtape of hardcore, man.
Yeah.
That's what I want to check out.
If you give me anything.
Anybody makes these mixtapes of hardcore. I listen to...
DM us your link on Instagram or send us an email, upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Give me your link, and I'll rate your playlist. Because it doesn't matter. What we've proven over this podcast, Jake and I will rate them. Because we've said, if it's something that we don't particularly like, we can tell if it's done well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our thing is when you put effort into it, that's something that we like to sniff out. When you're trying to be like, I put thought into this, that's enough for me to be like,
for sure.
I absolutely respect
80
it.
minutes. If it's 81 minutes, it won't burn the CD.
I will not listen to it.
You can make a CD that you thought was perfect, and it could be 78 minutes, but then the gaps that it put in, you didn't click burn without gaps between songs, so it'll put it, and it gets halfway through burning, and then your CD just spits it out from that bottom CD drive, and you're just like, nope, this Dell's not going to burn that fucking CD for you, buddy boy. You got nothing for it.
So I think this playlist is really good for people
It's good.
our age that had a proclivity towards alternative music.
It's great to throw on. It's not something you can
Yes.
throw on with kids in the car.
No.
Because we do have some listeners that have children.
Yes.
So,
But
well, depending on the age of
curse
your children.
anyway.
That's true. I've tried not to curse so much because I have had some complaints. I can't listen to it with kids in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the only complaint that I've heard so far.
Yes.
And it's been addressed somewhat.
Yeah, we're doing our best. But sometimes we just talk. So yeah, this is two. Again, the playlist called Pizza Party Tonight by CrustPunk Incorporated. Send us your playlist to upyouralleypod@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into
a fun little experiment to try and do this rec, dude.
Yeah, it's a fun little
I had
experiment to
fun.
see how many out of 10,000 people are bots. So let's get into my recommendation for Jake. Documentary Chimp Crazy.
Yes, sir.
Documentary available on, we just got someone liked our thing about 10,000 subscribers.
Max.
On Max.
Yeah,
So it's called Chimp Crazy. Mm-hmm. Directed by Eric Good, the same guy that did Tiger King.
Yes.
It's a 4-part series available to stream now on Max. It focuses on Tanya Haddix, who is big into chimpanzees.
Yep, a volunteer for this good.
So she's an animal broker, essentially.
Yes.
She loves chimpanzees, all other monkeys. Here's the thing, a disclaimer. We are going to interchange between ape and monkey. We know there's a difference, but sometimes it's funnier to say monkey.
You're saying we.
Oh, you're going to be right the whole time?
I'm a big chimp guy, dude.
I understand.
The only time
right,
that
I'm
I do it is for my movies when the pun doesn't work. You can't call it chimp business, it's monkey business.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Regardless, so she took care of a bunch of chimpanzees, and then PETA got involved because you shouldn't be keeping a whole bunch of chimpanzees in Oklahoma. And the episode ends with PETA getting called up, and they're like, we're going to take all of her chimps away. And they raid her house, their little compound, and she's not allowed there. And it ends with PETA's just saying, and one of the chimps was missing.
Yeah.
End of episode 1.
Yeah.
Turns out there's a big chimp named Tonka who was in movies.
Old chimp. Yeah,
And
he was in Buddy.
She took, in the second episode, we don't know if Tonka's alive or not.
He was in Most Extreme Primate.
Was he?
Yeah.
Or was it Most Vertical Primate?
No, Most Extreme.
What was he doing then?
He was the most extreme primate.
I understand. What was so extreme? Was he snowboarding?
Snowboarding.
Oh, he's snowboarding.
Yeah.
MVP Most Vertical Primate was skateboarding. This is all in the air. How many times have we talked about Airbud and the Airbud universe on this podcast?
I don't know, man.
Several.
But Chimps is my favorite.
Chimps is your favorite?
Chimps is my favorite type of movie like this.
Really?
Yes.
I'll take a golden retriever over a chimp.
No, I take a chimp.
As someone who has a golden retriever, really happy I don't have a chimp. The way my golden retriever greets you at the door every time you come over would be very different if he was a chimpanzee.
If there was somebody checking in, it better be Dunstan. That's what I'm saying.
He was an orangutan.
Yeah, that's a chimp.
That's
Wait, no, that's not a chimp. That's an ape.
It's an orangutan.
Yeah, that's an ape.
Yeah, don't matter. You know what you can't train to do tricks? Bonobos.
All of them.
Well, no, you can do it for a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Bonobos they are too hypersexual.
Yeah.
They will
They're
just...
wonderful.
Yeah.
Bonobos are wonderful.
Regardless. So
second episode,
she
we're
ends up
into it.
Yeah,
Tonka supposedly dead.
Right. She says he had a stroke, everything like that.
Yeah.
And so in
Congenital
one day,
heart failure.
They killed and cremated Tonka.
Yeah.
She has a bag of pink ashes.
Yeah.
She's like,
Kind of looks like dirt, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not dirt.
It's not dirt. It's Tonka. So this lady, one of the fun things about this documentary I found is Eric Goode is not in it as the director because
he is the director.
He's the director behind the director. So
Yes.
he did Tiger King, which everyone watched during the pandemic, which was about Joe Exotic, who was a crazy guy that had a bunch of tigers.
Yeah.
So obviously the sequel is a crazy lady with a bunch of chimps. And it's a real, you go from giving a mouse a cookie to giving a moose a muffin situation. It's just like, let's find another crazy person with a different animal.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a rehash of the same story.
No,
of the same type of people.
But Eric Goode was so
this
well
is
known.
far more interesting.
Eric Goode got so well known in the people that own crazy animals community that he hired a proxy director to fake direct the documentary for him.
Yes, Dwayne.
Yeah. So Dwayne is doing
I enjoy that guy.
Dwayne Cunningham would be his name. And so they start interviewing this lady, and it becomes clear pretty early on in this documentary that this woman is not great mentally.
I would say it's very, very apparent that she is a liar.
And
like
she's
from day one, she's a liar.
Got some weird personality disorders. I'm not a therapist. I can't diagnose any. We're not even sponsored by a therapist anymore, so I can't even tell you to go to an online therapist. I won't even give you their name. But she has some weird disorders. She does say, she's like, I love chimps more than I love my children, more than I love anyone in your life. I'm like,
that's
not a great thing to say.
Big thing to say.
Yeah. And also the fact, so there's a scene in, it's the second or third episode where it opens with Tanya getting lip filler.
Yeah.
And it's like the documentary crew's there watching her get injected, and the guy that's giving her lip filler is just like kind of talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, I like chimps too." And it's weird that you know a documentary's getting made about you, and you know that you took this chimp because spoiler, she took the chimp. The chimp was stolen.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have this switch in your head that, oh, if I just let these people film me, people will see my side of the story. There's a disconnect from reality there that makes me it makes me sympathetic at first. But the fact that you're knowingly harming animals, I'm like, I have zero sympathy for you now.
I don't have like ill will towards her.
No.
But
as long as she's not having chimps.
I think that she needs to be barred from having chimps.
And she is.
And she is.
Yeah.
But because I do believe that she thinks she's doing something that's right. Or something that's at least fine.
But the fact that
you can't feed them chicken nuggets and Powerade.
Right. And the fact that there's that disconnect from reality where you think, I know better than everyone else so much that I'm going to, like you said, she's giving them chicken nuggets and Powerade.
Yeah.
And keeping them in this cage.
He loves them. That's why we do it. It's like, it doesn't matter that they love it.
And a kid likes Laffy Taffy. You can't give him Laffy Taffy all the time. But I don't know why I picked such an old candy. I don't even know if kids like Laffy Taffy. But regardless, there's that disconnect from reality, but it's also causing harm to an innocent living thing.
Yeah.
So I have no sympathy for you. It's like if you see a crazy guy that like he feeds the squirrels and he's out in the park just feeding squirrels every day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, but squirrels are getting fed. He's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
But
you got no problem with that.
If he's keeping the squirrels in a shoebox and giving them McDonald's cheeseburgers, yeah, man, you should probably let that squirrel go. Like, you're hurting people now. Not people, you're hurting animals.
It doesn't feel like there was any research taken from Tanya, to be like, how do I take care of a chimp? Because they would be like, you let it drink water, not milk. Just kind of need milk.
Kind of see what they're doing in the wild and do that, because that's what they've been doing for thousands of years.
But not only do they follow Tanya, they go into the other chimp stories that
there are
pretty
other
big in America.
Horrific chimp stories, and some of them I had heard about.
We remember Travis the chimp when we were kids.
Yeah.
When we were younger, I would say. That's what, 2004?
No.
Or 2009?
No, she was on Oprah.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah.
2000? It was
early 2000s.
But regardless, we remember the story of a woman getting her face ripped off.
Ripped off by a chimpanzee. And here's the thing.
For us, it was funny when we were young. It was funny for me when I was young because I was like, that's such a funny idea that your face could be just taken off. Mm-hmm. And then you listen to the whole account. You listen to the 911 call.
It wasn't her chimp.
It wasn't her chimp.
She's just going to see a monkey.
And it sounds like one of the most horrific things I could even conceive of.
At that point, it's like being stuck on a spaceship with a xenomorph. Like that, there's nothing you can do to stop that thing.
When they talked to the policeman, and he was like, "I know Travis.
He's
like,
a nice chimp.
We used to come over and like play with Travis,
dress him up in a cop uniform. It was fun.
Yeah,
take pictures."
And then he responded to this call where he had to shoot Travis 5 times.
And that lady was so fucking crazy because she's like, "You got to shoot him in the head."
That was a different chimp.
Regardless,
this chimp was he shot him 5 times, and then Travis just walked back to his house.
Oh, that's right. He's the one that the Travis ripped the door off the cop car.
Yeah, he ripped the door off the cop car. The cop shot it.
He's the fucking Hulk.
Yes, because chimps are wild creatures.
Chimps. Here's the thing. Chimps are the winter soldier. They will get a trigger that goes off, and they will become just unstoppable killing machines.
They're not like cats and dogs.
And here's the deal. Not their fault.
Yes. I can't blame
their fault.
Poor Travis. Of course he wants the food and he loves the attention and stuff.
That's a chimp doing chimp shit.
Yes, but exactly. They're strong as hell.
It's like when you
watch that video where I was very happy with the stepdaughter coming in to talk about this. And how they had video of Travis with her son, and like they're playing a game where they're just teasing each other, and Travis just starts yanking that kid's arm, and just watching that, you're like, yikes!
Yes.
Like that dude, that chimp could rip his arm off if he wanted to.
Pay me enough money to go in the room with a chimpanzee.
I mean,
I'm sure they're great, but I don't.
Dude, I want to carry a baby chimp so bad. I love chimps so damn much,
baby,
but
that's great.
I have to respect nature.
But
I have to understand that that's not what they want.
Whenever you hear
That's
stories,
not what they need.
Whenever you hear stories about animals like going crazy, like did you ever watch the documentary Blackfish?
No.
Blackfish was all about this orca whale that killed, I forget the orca whale's name, but he was a big bull orca whale that bounced around a bunch of different marine parks.
Shamu, right?
No, he was a Shamu, but that wasn't his real name. I forget his name. But regardless, he killed like 3 trainers. And he just got moved around to different marine parks. And one of the trainers like...
A very Catholic of them.
That's going to get us demonetized. So one of the trainers like... They're trying to describe it as like graphic thing about how like he grabbed her and swam down to the bottom of the pool and like dragged her on the bottom of the pool and just like, mortar and pestle this lady. Horrible way to die. But also, don't keep a fucking whale in a cage.
Wild animal.
Yeah. And
I
not to mention the fact,
think I did watch Blackfish because they talk about the fins.
how they flop over.
How they flop over. And they're like, it's actually nice and normal that happens.
Right.
And then you have other... animal doctors, animal scientists, what do you call them?
Biologists.
They're like, no, that's a bad thing that's happening there.
Yeah. His name was Tillicum. I had to Google it. But the same thing.
All right.
People are listening to this with their children. Regardless, the same thing with the chimps. And the same thing like when we talked about the Eli Roth documentary Finn. Sharks doing shark stuff, man.
Yeah.
Chimps doing chimp stuff. And when they see a rival primate, they're going to rip your arm off.
I was just like Alan Cumming when it comes to this.
Alan Cumming was in this too.
Alan Cumming's great.
So
Alan Cumming, wonderful to see him.
Alan Cumming was in a movie with Tonka.
Yes, and Alan talks and he's like, "Oh yeah, they told me that they take the chimp and like he just like goes to like a retirement community for chimps.
Nice farm upstate.
Yes, it gave him a nice farm upstate, and I was believing that too right up till I was watching this thing.
Good old
I was
Alan
like,
Cumming.
But then they were saying like that's Tonka. It was like that was the chimp from these movies.
Right.
I was like, that can't be,
Yeah.
But yes, and so Alan Cumming just like ruined my whole idea of what chimps are in Hollywood.
Right. Yeah.
Because I thought because I was under the impression that yes, everybody understood that chimps are great and like pretty docile up until
certain age,
maturity.
Yeah.
When they just snap and realize, I could just beat the hell out of you.
Right.
And that's when they're like, okay, put them into the sanctuary.
Right.
Let them be chimps there. No, that's not the case. They just kind of like
they give them to some lady in Oklahoma.
Yeah. That was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. It's a 3, by the way. It's a 3.
Nice.
This is a very, very good documentary, especially when they went into Travis' story. That was a very incredible story.
I think I will say this documentary is very fair to Tanya. I mean, she's just 100% wrong. It's
wrong.
sad that you want a monkey.
Yeah.
You can't have one.
Yeah.
You can't.
I understand that she wants to take care of things.
Right.
And she's a big foster parent, and she fostered like dozens of children.
That's when I kind of felt bad for her because like she
thing.
fostered a kid that had developmental disabilities.
Yes.
But then
she adopted one.
Once she went empty nest,
yeah,
she started getting monkeys.
Yes.
And her son's in this movie.
Yeah.
Her son, like, it's just like, oh, I know that if she had to choose between me and the chimpanzee, she would pick the chimpanzee.
Yeah.
I'm like, that boy needs therapy.
Yeah.
Like, I hope he's doing okay,
me
man.
Too. I hope they have an understanding in their relationship because that was heartbreaking to hear.
It's rough.
But Tanya definitely needs to address some things
for sure
in herself. Because Tonka wasn't happy, man.
There's one part in this documentary. She's a very overly made up person.
Yeah.
And after she said that she foster kids and stuff, I was like, all right, kind of feel bad for her. But then she's overly, like I said, she was getting lip fillers. She has way too long of eyelashes. And she says to the documentary crew, she's like, people always call me Dolly because they say I look like Dolly Parton. I don't know why. And I was like, first of all, no one calls you Dolly. Secondly, you know why. Because you're trying to look like Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
and don't bring Dolly Parton into this. Dolly Parton would be ashamed of the way these chimpanzees are being raised.
It was sad to see that she's got a petting zoo, quote unquote, on her new property.
Even that fucking llama didn't look happy. When have you ever seen a sad llama?
They have a camel in there.
Yeah.
And a camel needs a lot of fucking land.
Famously, they're nomads.
Yes.
They're meant to store water so they can walk through a bunch of shit.
I went to a zoo in Canada. And it was the most depressing zoo I've ever been to. You could tell that this was one of those places where they're like, capture a camel and bring it to us, you know, because that camel was not happy.
Yeah.
You know, you see it and it's like, this thing doesn't want to be here at all.
Yeah, if you had to...
We are lucky to have the Smithsonian Zoo close to us.
It's a good zoo.
That's a really good zoo.
It's a good zoo.
Those animals are bred in captivity, so they could not survive in the wild. And they have excellent habitats that accommodate for them more than it does for us to see them, you know.
And we get to see pandas. That's always fun.
We had pandas for a while. We had that babe giraffe. I remember that. It has an awesome elephant exhibit now.
They do.
Yeah.
Good spot for elephants. But another thing about this lady that drove me crazy, and this is just a nitpicky thing, she would confidently misuse words.
Yeah, I loved it.
I had a running list. I have it on my notebook at home, but I forgot it. But at one point, she would just say things to the documentary, and everything's being filmed. The fact that it's not a Truman Show situation where she doesn't know she has cameras on her. Yeah. She's speaking to camera. She gets dolled up for the camera, and she would like talk about her house. And one thing she said, like, you know, this house is such a dump. We have to get the whole thing remediated. I'm like,
yeah.
Do you mean renovated?
Yeah. And
then she's like, oh yeah, we're going to remediate this room. And I'm like, that's not the word you're meaning to use.
Yeah.
And that's just nitpicky to me.
She's pretty confident in those words.
But yeah, I thought it was a good documentary.
It is a really good documentary.
I knew you would like it.
It was. It's heartbreaking, but it's also. I'm happy to put eyes on stuff like this. I love chimps. People.
I definitely liked it better than Tiger King. Tiger King was just a fucking freak show.
Tiger King's also incredible. Yeah. I think this one's far more interesting, just because it's pertinent to my interests more.
Chimps.
Yes, chimps.
And my interest as well, deranged, overly made up white ladies.
She wants to buy an island to put a gorilla on
we
it?
didn't even talk about the end. So at the end, the producer gets a call, and it's her, and she's like, I need to talk to you before this comes out on the news. So she's barred from ever having chimps again. PETA and Alan Cumming find out. They're hip to her ruse. PETA's lawyers, who's this really smarmy-looking dude, but he's fucking hilarious. They ban her from basically a judge could just tell you you're not allowed to hang out with monkeys anymore, which is fantastic. I want to read that legal brief. It just says you're not allowed near apes.
Not near 100 meters of chimp.
Yeah. But she goes to visit another ape, another chimp.
Yeah.
And it like rips off part of her ear.
Yeah.
And bites her in the hand.
Oh.
And she's like all like bandaged.
Bruised up on her legs.
She goes on camera. She's like, you can't see my ear, can you? And it's like, then why are you in front of the camera? You crazy lady. You could have not called them and hoped that this documentary comes out beforehand. But the fact she's like, no, I got to get out ahead of this. Like Dave Grohl. She's like, I got to, before my chimp bites come out in the press, I got to get this out here.
It's great.
Jesus
we could have had a debate where a guy's like, let me get in front of this. That bear had it coming, and I had to throw it into Central Park.
I don't know what you're talking about.
RFK, of course.
I understand.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
You also could have brought up the fact that he chainsawed off a whale's head and tied it to the roof of his car. Oh, this country's going great. I'm glad PlayStations cost the same in England.
These people are running. That's good stuff. That's good stuff,
You
buddy.
just brought down the mood. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, while I was watching this, my mom came down, and I just happened to have this on, and Alan Cumming was on. And I don't know if this is a game you play with people in your life, too. But she's like, where do I know him from?
Yeah.
And then I have to pull up IMDb and try to figure out how my mom knows Alan Cumming.
Yeah.
And it took longer than I would have liked it to.
Yeah.
Where do you think my mom knows Alan Cumming from?
I don't know. Josie and the Pussycats.
No, great movie though.
Yeah.
I was listening to 3 Small Words from Josie and the Pussycats soundtrack the other day.
Now we're talking, dude.
That song's a fucking banger.
Isn't it though?
That whole soundtrack's a banger.
The whole soundtrack's great.
3 Small Words. It starts out, I'm a punk rock prom queen. I'm like, goddamn
Bro,
right. I'm a
dude.
37-year-old man, but I'll still sing I'm a punk rock prom queen.
We are awesome, dude.
Brown Paper Magazine.
We have such great taste in film, dog.
Also, the hottest person in Josie and the Pussycats, Parker Posey.
Rachel Lee Cook.
No, Parker Posey.
I would say
Also Rosario
very close
Dawson.
second. Yeah, it's a banger.
Some babes in that movie.
Yeah.
And Seth Green.
All of them.
Regardless, no, my mom knows Alan Cumming because a couple weeks ago he was on What's What Happens Live with Andy Cohen.
Oh, I would never.
She just knows him for Watch What Happens Live. And I was like, she's never seen X-Men 2, has she? Like, I don't know where you know Alan Cumming from.
Right. He's the perfect Kurt Wagner.
Yeah. It's like Goldeneye? Is this from Goldeneye? But, no, it's Andy Cohen.
It was cool to see Alan Cumming, though.
Yeah, good for him. Stan
3. Everybody watch this. Yeah.
Yeah. Chimp Crazy on Max. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you to our buddies, Brother Bill, for letting us use their music. That was way too loud. Sorry about that. Got to remember to fix that when I upload.
Definitely take another listen to it, buddy.
Thank you to Jimmy for doing all of our artwork. And like I said, email us at upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
10K, baby.
10K, baby.
We should do an AMA.
Let's figure out every day's an AMA, man. Just write us in. I'll talk to you. I got not much going on. And so let's figure out what we're going to be talking about next week. Jake, what you got for me?
We're going to watch a movie, buddy.
Oh, really?
Yep. We're going to watch it as comedy. Apparently, it's trying to go back to slapstick. I haven't watched it yet. I look forward to it. It's called Hundreds of Beavers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Is this going to get us flagged as well?
No, it's about hundreds of beavers.
Okay, what's it on?
It's streaming.
Thanks.
I'm not sure.
Let me.
I know it's digital, but
Everything's
and I think you
digital
have to
now.
buy it. I don't think it's streaming.
Let me try to find it real
Yeah, but it's called Hundreds of Beavers, and I was told that it's like slapsticky, which
All right.
makes me excited to watch it.
It's a 2024 movie, Hundreds of Beavers. Looks like you can get it on Fandor and Amazon Video. Yeah, you can find it.
Yep.
So Hundreds of Beavers, I'm going to watch that. So I was going to recommend you a comedy, but now I'm not. So we'll do something else. Another movie on Netflix. New movie. It's called Rebel Ridge.
Okay, good.
Have you heard anything about Rebel Ridge?
I had a buddy that just watched it, said it was incredible.
Yeah. So the less you know about it, it's going into it.
Okay.
It's great. It picks up quick. It's a thriller. It's like right off the bat. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. Don Johnson's in it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I saw the
Great
poster of it.
Great performance by Don Johnson.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm
Cool.
going to watch Hundreds of Beavers. Jake's going to watch Rebel Ridge. Thank you everybody for listening. Jake, thanks for having me over. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.